I say when you have a trauma in your life, that you know who's on your side, because sometimes people will drift away, and then other people that you didn't even know you were that close to will show up with a meal, or they'll call you and to check on you and see how you're doing. But my family, my brother and his wife and my nephew all just stepped up. I always knew they were on my side, but boy, did they really, really were tremendous supporters. And
you actually had to spend some time in a hyperbaric chamber.
Absolutely. I had 60 treatments, hyperbaric oxygen treatments, and as slow as I was moving, it was a 4-hour commitment, and I'd have to go every day in a row. And I would do 20 days, and then I had the surgery, and then I would do 20 more treatments, and then I had the next surgery. The purpose of that is because the bone infection was so bad, it increases the oxygen, and it helps with the healing, because the antibiotics weren't. It was a bacteria that was antibiotic resistant, and this was just like a support to bring extra oxygen in to help with the healing process in the bone. And I honestly don't know how, if I hadn't had those treatments, if I would have even made it.
So you were a contemporary artist. You sang contemporary music. You wrote a lot of your own music as well.
Yes.
Which always seemed to have a Christian theme.
Yes.
Even when you were in the contemporary sector
yes.
of music. And so what is your vision now?
My vision now is, this is without a doubt a healing from God. This happened, and I just got chills when I said that, because God healed me. He not only healed my body so that I can continue to function, but I can sing better now than I've ever sang in my life. The doctor said, you might never sing again. If you do, it's going to be nowhere near like it was. So I not only did God heal me so that I can continue in this world, but He made my voice better than it's ever been. I could feel compelled to tell how sick I got, that I felt like I was going to die, all of the miracles that happened along the way to keep me going, all the people who were miracles in my life that showed up. Then to come out the other side and to be able to sing at age 55 better than I've ever sang in my life, talk about a miracle.
Why do you think you got the infection in your jaw?
I believe I got the infection in my jaw because I wasn't living my authentic life. From the time I was a toddler, I was always singing and dancing. And as life went along, I listened to what other people would say. I remember thinking one time that my day consisted of 99% of what everybody else wanted me to do, and 1% or a little bit more than that were of what I really wanted to do. I wasn't speaking my truth. When something would come up, I just kept it all inside. The only time I ever felt like myself was when I could express myself when I was on stage. Through song, through the lyric. You mentioned earlier in the interview, the music that we wrote is very inspirational. It is very positive. And that's the only time I ever felt like myself.
Did you feel like part of telling your truth was maybe at times in the industry when you were looking for to get your voice out there, that maybe you said yes to some things that you should have said no to?
Absolutely, all the time. Mm-hmm. they would say, "Can you play this type of music?" Sure, yes. I was a people pleaser. I did anything I could. I was constantly pushing to make something happen. And the moment that I let go of it, I had no choice. I had to let go because I ended up to where I couldn't get out of bed. But that's when my dream started to come true. The dream of being on the radio, the dream of being heard, my voice heard worldwide on this syndicated radio show that was fabulous. Getting called to play for the National Act. In 2017, we warmed up for the National Act, and they never ever do this, but they called us back. In between my 2 surgeries, I get a phone call. "Do you want to do it again? You did such a great job last year." And I just went on faith, because at that point I hadn't even had my second surgery, and I was so sick I couldn't get out of bed. And I said, yes, we're going to do it, yes. And so, again, in September of 2018, we warmed up again, and it was the best show I have ever performed in my life.
So I want to ask you 3 different questions.
Okay.
So tell us something that most people don't know about you.
Most people don't know about me. Oh wow, there's a lot, because I've kept myself guarded. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yes, when I was trying to get started years and years ago in my 20s, I sang at a showcase in Nashville at Conway Twitty's auditorium in Nashville, and I was invited to sing on Hee Haw. And I didn't do it because I was such a people pleaser that my ex-husband at the time had a family crisis, and I didn't go after my dream. I chose to support him, and who knows what would have happened, because that was one of the last hee-haws that there was.
Okay, my second question is, what is one standout moment that somebody complimented you and you'll never forget it?
Well, I have to say, when the last time, there's 2 different things that come to mind. The last time that after my surgeries that I got back up on stage and we warmed up for the National Act, their names are Brown and Gray, but they came up, the National Act came up to me after the show, which they never do. They usually get on a bus and go to the next stop, but they came up to me after I sang, and they just complimented me left and right about my vocal ability. And then I told them my story about how God healed me, and they couldn't believe it. And then another time is just recently, one of my, I think people that are hearing me sing now versus prior to the illness are shocked, because I just came back from New Orleans and was up on stage and sang a song on Bourbon Street. Colleague of mine who I value his opinion tremendously, he called me up and said, "I've never heard you sing like that before. That was wonderful. What's going on?" And I said, "God healed me. That's all there is to it."
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Do you want to play and sing one of your songs for us today?
Sure. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling.
You believe God is good.
All right, I'll be telling my story. So stay tuned. Please check me out at IamSuzanneLee.com. That's IamSuzanneLee.com. And you can go on Facebook under Suzanne Lee and see recent posts. I'm going to start telling my story. I'm an inspirational speaker now who sings instead of a singer who does whatever. I'm an inspirational speaker who's going to tell the story of how God healed me. And then I'm going to sing a little bit during the keynote concerts with my band. So check it out. IamSuzanneLee.com. Thank you. God bless.